Welcome back. It is final round of the Jeddah GP this week, and let's kick straight in to where we are. We are at 4 races, 186 points, and we were taught a lesson by a Hellas McLaren player. Great race in race 1. Turns out fuel is the best thing to go for Jeddah, not the tyres. So that's one thing I will learn going forward. Always learning is the aim of the game. We've got Miami, Monza, Austria and Jeddah, and a lot of people have already dropped points here in final round, so there is a chance that we could still get a top 10. So let's kick in race 5, Miami. Welcome to Miami for race number 5. Just the 2 points dropped so far, so let's see if we can continue with some 47s with the last 4 races in final round. Bit of a delay coming in to the race as we wait and even more wait when we're in. Big pause there for some odd reason, but we are in. So let's see where we qualify compared to the opponent. And we sit P2, P3 against a P5, P9. So we're going to go and learn from the River race. So we're going to go dead fast on the front. And we're going to go firework. We want fuel though, so I'm going to go Eclipse. I'm going to keep with this strategy. And I'm actually going to do a 2-2-2-2 on both drivers, I think. And I'm going to just literally split them up with what they're doing. So real player for race number 5, and hopefully we shall be all good. They're P5 and P9, so depends where they get in the first corner. Good luck to him as well. And we are off. So we're using fuel, we're using speed, and he is up to P3. So this strategy that I'm pretty much not usually doing a 2-2-2 on both drivers is going to be interesting to see. So I'm going to cut down a little bit on Ocon. He's using Eclipse as well. We're going to just try and keep him behind a little bit. And we're going to try and push. And that's not usually an overtaking spot, but somehow he's managed to get through. So we're going to conserve, and we'll come back at him in a little bit. He's using a bit more fuel than I am. And Perez out in P1. Ocon, we're still going to conserve. And what's the gap at the moment? 4.4. So let's start boosting as well. We'll bring that gap down and we'll come back on to the softs. No servicing required. Perez coming through now. Still got the rival behind. He's not going away. And we've got to bring Ocon closer to that Perez. That Perez still pushing very hard. And we're all good on car servicing. 56% as we come into the pits. We should be out pretty quick. And Ocon also in. Rival just in now. Good pit stop by Perez. And we're going to conserve on him as long as we can, just to save a bit of fuel, and then we'll keep the rival behind. Ocon has got decent fuel, so we're going to keep him on medium. And here comes the rival. So rival's starting to push. We're going to match. We don't need to do anything more than that. And that's all we've got to do. We've just got to keep him at bay where we can. So we'll just cut down again. He pushes now, so we'll push as well. I imagine Eclipse will be faster down this straight than me. And it is, but we do survive. We're going to be pretty fast with Ocon at the end of this. We're just holding him up again. Ocon not very far away. And we are going to come in for some servicing. Rival still pushing really hard. And Ocon not very far away either. He'll come in for some servicing, and it should be all systems go for him. So we're just going to hold him up a little bit. 4.8 is the gap, and then we'll come into the pit. So we're going to boost away. Rival's pretty much used all that extra fuel. We haven't with Ocon, and you can see Ocon now P3. Whether or not we lose a position to this Perez will remain to be seen. We might actually double stack here. Don't think we will though, and we're out. We are ahead of the rival. And we're going to just hold him up again, try and hold him up a little bit. If he pushes. He's pushed a lot so far. Is he pushing still? He's not pushing. But we're going to bring Ocon a lot closer to him. He's obviously saving fuel now. And we're going to boost our Perez. So we're going to make sure we split the gaps. And the gap at the minute, 1.7. So we'll keep going. Both on level fuel now, both drivers. So we're both in this together. And here comes Ocon. Can he get past Perez? We're going to make this rival use as much fuel as possible. Perez comes round in P1. We're going to conserve through here. That means Perez will, at front, just disappear a little bit. And then let's get back on the boost. No servicing required in this lap of pit stops. Can he get through? He has a look on Perez. Can't make it done. So we're going to save fuel again a little bit. Back marker needs to get out of the way. He does so now. And we're down the straight. So Perez looking good out front. He'll come into the pits. Ocon. Oh, Ocon's got held up by a pit stop. And we're in between Latifi. That's not what we wanted. We wanted a nice clear jump on the rival. And it's not going to be at this point. So we're going to push Albon. Albon was in the way. We're going to push Perez a little bit. If he's boosting, rival's not boosting just yet. And I'm going to just try and hold him up a little bit. But Ocon is closing hard. And here comes Ocon with a late lunge. Can he do it? He can't. And I've got an understanding that the rival's probably short on a bit of fuel here. Can he go up the inside? Perez is a bit close for my liking. I've not really judged that. But can Ocon make a move down this back straight? Perez goes wide and back markers are getting in the way. Can Ocon get through? He's not got loads of fuel left now. He has a push up the inside. Can't make it happen. So we're going to cut down to medium. We've got to push. We've got to push this. Can we get him up the inside? Big straight ahead. Still not pushing by the rival. Can we get him done? Back markers are being an absolute pain. He goes wide. He's been pushed. And then one more attempt. Can we get him down this straight? He's obviously really low on fuel. Can Ocon get through? Oh, we're so short on fuel. We're not going to. We couldn't get past. And it is a 46-point race. Laugh in the face by the guy. Fair play. And it is P1 and 3-3. And I don't mind that. I've already dropped points, so it's all good on me. It's race 6 in Monza. Another real player. And can I actually score 47? We're about to find out. Luckily, with the P1 last weekend, I'm not too concerned about dropping points this week. I am pretty relaxed. But I tell you what, after that last race, I would have been something different if I actually needed that P1. Another long wait into this game again. And we've got a rain qualifying for Monza. So let's see what we can do. Where will we qualify? And we do get P2, P3, rival only P4 and P5. And I tell you what, it's a massive difference at the moment with everything that's going on. Because they're qualifying so close to us. It's actually amazing. So we're going to unequip that. And I'm going to take on... I can't find it. I'm going to put Frost on for tyre management. Frost and Hex to take me through. And let's see what we can do. We were robbed of a safety car yesterday. Can we get back? But yeah, definitely at the moment, with the boost on the drivers, they're bringing the lower team scores right up to the front. And that makes for very interesting racing. So Voice and Herald, and somehow we're already out in P3. So we've already lost a position on Ocon. So that's an annoying start. Let's see if we can just bide our time. I'm going to try and do 5 laps with Perez, who's looking pretty slow, and rivals using Voice. I have got the wet ability on Frost, so hopefully we can keep them behind. And we're going to just keep boosting. We've got tyres, and we've lost a position again. How do we keep losing them positions? I will never know. It is very, very frustrating. And suddenly we're back down to P2 and P3. How are we losing points? I don't understand at the minute. And the rival setting off. I'm going to bring Ocon through on that Hex. Here he comes, and he's going to boost a little bit and close that gap. Perez will start to boost as well. And we'll cut down Ocon there. We'll cut down Perez there. So we're looking okay as can be. Rival's gone at the front. And what have we got behind? I'm going to probably pit this lap. I might try a little bit of a cheeky undercut, and I might go 4 laps with Perez. So let's try this. Let's try and do something different. We've got fuel to spare with Ocon. The rival's going to pit as well, I think. So let's just see what he does, actually. Is he's in the pits? He's in the pits. Let's carry on. Let's carry on here. And then what we'll do is, can we get out ahead? We can. So we're going to hold him up, I think, here. Let's try and hold him up a little bit, and then we'll come back with Perez at the end. So can we absolutely work magic? And we are holding him up quite a bit. Ocon down the back straight. And this is all we need to do, because I think we're going to have a pretty solid 4 laps on Perez. He's got the grip, he's got the tyre management, and he's got the wet weather. And out comes Ocon then. So Ocon coming out now. And we do get P1. We have jumped him. So brilliant strategy. We're going to have clear air for Perez behind. And that means Perez is going to start boosting. So let's boost. I think we can nearly get 4 laps. We've got to close that gap though. And that gap is at 9 seconds at the moment. But the rival's not going to come in for a couple of laps at least. He's not going to get 5 laps. I mean, he could get 5 laps. But I'd be very surprised if he does with not pushing at all. But Ocon continues round with a nice gap. What's about P2? P2's tyres, not even coming up to halfway, so I don't think he's going to manage as we start lap number 6. So Perez needs to get through these. For 2 laps, he's going to have to be very conservative. And I'm not pushing Ocon either. So we should hopefully have this back in the bag, a bit of change of strategy. And this is what we needed. This could be a blessing in disguise. And we've got Perez now right behind Ocon. And we can keep boosting till the end. And here's a move. And that is P2 so far. Rival's going to be very limited on that 5 lap wet. Especially with voice. No tyre management at all in there. And we are absolutely in the driving seat now. We're going to keep pushing though, because I am not risking one bit here. And we should be good to go. Ocon coming through has been conserving throughout this race on this last stint. And now Perez can do the 4, so Frost will work out. And I think the rival might come in for some tyres. No, he carries on. And I don't think he's going to have much tyres left at the end of it, looking at the tyres as well. So that should be 47 points in a rain-filled Monza. I mean, it's a point better than yesterday. I'll argue that. As Ocon comes flying through. And Perez will cut down because we don't want to run out of tyres. We're all safe on that. And Ocon wins. We overcome a big gap. So a big gap in team score, but not on qualifying positions. And Perez comes home in P2. Real player avoided, 47 points. Race number 7, Austria. And for some odd reason, we're still going to go for a fastest lap. Even though it doesn't really matter. We've dropped points. We're not going to finish much higher than probably top 10 anyway. So we'll go for it just in case we can beat anyone to an extra position or 2. So P2, P3, P7 and 11 for the rival. And we are going to go firework for the fastest lap. And we're going to go downforce on Ocon. We'll set that up for the mediums. And looks like another real player. So for you guys at home watching, 3 out of 3 on the real player vibe. It's all good fun, isn't it? All good fun. So can we get off to a good start? We are P2, we want to boost into the lead. And we can, and Ocon's already round as well. So we're going to cut him down, we're going to cut Ocon down. We're going to save them tyres. And then we're going to start to boost and go for a fastest lap. We're looking for a 19.9 just for the fun, just for the giggles. So we come round and we're going to start to boost Perez. So here we go. Can we get 2 solid laps in the bank as Perez starts? We're looking for a 7.953 first sector for Perez. And it is a 7.953. Sadly, I don't know the other 2 sectors. I only know that one. But Perez is coming around pretty decent indeed. And it looks like he'll come across and across the line. We'll continue another lap. and then we'll cut down and we'll struggle for tyres at the end. What sector time is it this time for Perez? Doesn't look like he's improved on this lap. And we are going to come in early. We're going to, well, we tried to. Wow, we glitched it in. I mean, that's the fastest pit stop I have ever seen in Austria. So what we've done is we've gave ourselves a little bit of room to try again. That was an insane fast pit stop. That's, I mean, late call. I mean, that could work a treat in main races. That was awesome. We're not going to get another fastest lap in, I don't think. But I'm all good on Ocon at the minute. Ocon has only got the soft tyres ahead. So let's boost Perez. I mean, we're just going to boost him for fun. And we're going to boost Ocon as well. So Perez comes round. He's going to get held by traffic anyway. But we've got one solid lap in the bank. And what lap time is this through the first sector? Looks like it's not improved. And we're not going to improve anyway because of the rivals and the AI in the way. But can we cut through the middle and maybe get a bit of luck coming round? And here comes Perez to start lap 6. We're still flying. We are still absolutely flying. And Ocon will come on to softs. Probably should have pitted Ocon. I should have pitted Ocon. That's what I should have done. And I didn't. So we're going to hang on with Ocon now. And we're going to come into the pits with Perez. You can see how slow that pit stop was compared to that pit stop before. And we are in. We're going to be boosting to the end here. Ocon will come in as well as Perez comes out. So Perez comes out, fair bit of traffic. But we're going to just conserve round. And then we're going to start to boost. Ocon coming out the pits as well. But he's all good. He can absolutely fly to the finish. And we're going to just keep conserving. I'm not going to go for a one last lap run with Perez. See what happens. Bit of fun on a Sunday afternoon as Perez starts lap 8. Ocon in 7. That downforce 5 medium, 4 medium it should have been, but instead it ended up to be 6 medium and 3 soft. So Perez coming round. Not going to get the fastest lap in. We'll find out what it is in the debrief. Will it be another 19.9? Who knows? But we're going to boost the driver. I don't think he's got a good exit off that corner at all. So it looks like we have already set our fastest lap. What about through here? Perez still trying to put something together. And yeah, definitely not going to be now. Let's cut down. And you can see Ocon really closing. And we are going to be good. So well done to the rival. He's managed to get a few places up. And we come home in P1 and P2 with one race to go. And let's see and wait to see what the fastest lap time was anyway. Was it a 19.9 or did we drop out to a 20.0? We're about to find out as he comes across the line. And let's see what we are in for. Perez P5. So P3 and P5 for the rival. That's a pretty good attempt. And as we get in the debrief, we have a look. And we do sit 19.998. So a bit slower than the 19.988, but it is fairly decent. Race 8 then in Jeddah. And we're trying something a little bit different in the track. So we're going with claw instead of true grit. See what we can do. See if we can take some more points. And hopefully we get off to a better start than we did before. So we're going to go firework on driver 1. And Ocon, we're going to go dead fast as we select them up. Looks like a potential bot. We'll find out as we load in hards and softs. So let's see what we can do. Perez, can he get a good start? It is a bot by the look of it. So hopefully it's an easy finish to this GP. Perez P1, Ocon P2. And there, where are we compared? Pulling away already. And hopefully we can see if claw would make a little bit of a difference, giving us less reliability, but a faster car. it'd have been interesting to see this against a human rival. But 3 out of 4 on the real players. And we're looking like we're going to finish with the 3 points dropped, potentially. So we're not doing too bad, but we could have been a lot better. Or is it 4 points? It's 3 or 4 points that we've dropped. But there we go. Perez flying around. We'll cut him down. He'll come into the pits. And we didn't really need to service, but I'm going to service anyway. And Ocon on the medium boost now. On that dead fast with the fuel. We are looking pretty good for him. Hopefully no safety cars to make this one of the longest races going. And we are over. Coming back for some softs. No service for Ocon. And Perez will carry on. It's definitely a speed and overtaking track, and I think it's definitely one to look at for fuel, because your fuel will let you just push so much harder. And especially around here, it definitely seems to be an advantage to have as much fuel as possible to be able to push, especially because these corners, such as now turn 27, has got a lot of room to overtake. So Perez comes through, Ocon into the pits with tyres to spare, and we'll boost him out and we'll pit him this lap. We're not going to service this time, no point. Ocon out safely in P2 and we'll push him, and then we'll finish on just a cruise with some mediums as long as a safety car does not come out. Perez flying through, and he'll come in doing the 2-2-2-2 strategy. No servicing. 25% we've used over 2 laps. That's not too bad. Ocon's going to do another lap. That dead fast having tyre management built into it, so it makes it a lot faster. And we're going to cruise on the mediums at the end. Perez coming through. He can go to medium boost for another 2 lap stint. And this is all looking fairly routine. We're going to start lapping the field by the look of it ever so soon. And all the field are bunched together. And here comes Ocon, nearly slamming into the back of Perez. That would have been a funny double crash. But not today. We're going to boost Perez as Ocon comes in. And then come in for probably some servicing. It won't hurt. And we're going to start going through the field one by one now with Perez. But let me know in the comments down below how you've got on. It's been a difficult weekend, but I think it's been difficult for a lot of people in their own way, especially from looking at the scores. But let's see if we can hold on to a top 10 this week. And look at Perez absolutely flying, eating these for breakfast. This will be like Max Verstappen potentially today coming through the field. And Perez comes in from P1 and he's going to get in the chock-a-block of the pit stops. And we're in. So we're going to push him as hard as we can, just for fun. How many cars can we lap in the last race? We've not got all the fuel, but we got a bit. And we're starting with P16. And we're through. So, it's looking okay. We're going to finish off with a weekend to forget. Roll on to next weekend. With, I think it's Mick, Seb Vettel, I think, and Max Verstappen all boosted potentially, if memory serves me right. And look at Perez, look at him absolutely go. That's insane, the firework boost on this track. Definitely got to use it more. And he now laps up to P7 and chases down P6. Ocon, quite a bit back, but we don't need to do anything more. We're just cruising round and we're going to finish off with a nice easy race. Lap 8 for Perez, and he's going to lap Max Verstappen and George Russell. We're not going to lap P3. He's absolutely gone like the wind, Sergio Perez. That shows you the 20% boost difference, because usually Max Verstappen's ahead of Perez. So that's a difference you can see, and that difference is a good 6 seconds. Well, there's a good, between Perez and Verstappen, who's just pitted, there's 6 seconds now. So that's a good at least 15 seconds. But Ocon is going to come home in P2. And we finish the final race P1, P2 for 40. So let's have a look where that puts us this week. At the very best, we're going to be P2. A lot of players to go, but there's also a lot of players who have also dropped points down here. So we could really end up anywhere. Big shout out to David, who scored 370. Couldn't quite make the 4 points, but he'll go again next week. We've got RML in there at P20 as well. And then looking through, JK's dropped a few points, but hopefully he can finish strong. And we've got a few people to go down here who are definitely going to push me back. So hopefully we can hold on to a top 10. If not, we go again next week. But thanks so much for tuning in to this week's GP. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a blast. It's been tough, but that's what makes the game fun.